and the ways that we're getting involved. So some announcements for other things coming up. Next Wednesday, our guest is going to be Billy Crone. And if you have been familiar with him, you know that he's got a lot to say about vaccinations, or what they're calling the vaccines. Where this is going to tie in here with the church is it's good timing, because this Sunday at 412 Church Murrieta, so for those of you local, come on out this Sunday here. Pastor Tim is going to be teaching a message on the mRNA vaccines. So he's going to be teaching a whole message about that. And then next Wednesday, Billy Crone will be here, and it will tie right into what Pastor Tim has talked about on Sunday. So anyways, if you're here local, come check out both of those. If you're watching online, just go to 412 Church Murrieta, the YouTube channel on Sunday, and you can watch that live. It will also be there afterwards as well, too. So that's what we've got coming up. Also want to let you know that locally here in the city of Temecula, on Saturday, May 1st, so it's just about a week and a half away, there's going to be the Back to Freedom prayer rally. And this is going to be taking place in front of the Temecula City Hall. Something similar to this occurred back in November, I believe, December timeframe. It was an awesome community event, people getting together and worshiping and praying, and some great speakers. This time, the speakers are going to be Pastor Tim Thompson, Bob Tyler is going to be there. We're going to have Pastor Rudy Gonzalez, who was our guest here a couple weeks ago from CERT Ministries. City Council member Jessica Alexander is going to be speaking, and we're going to have a couple other speakers as well. So more information about that, you can actually soon find that on the 412murrieta.com website. And let's see, I think that's about it for what we've got coming up and all I've got to announce. So other than that, just want to ask you and remind you to check out our watch on all the social media channels. So Instagram, Twitter, Parler, YouTube, Facebook, all of that. Check it out, subscribe, and hopefully you can get well informed in all those ways. So again, thank you for being here tonight. We're going to be getting started in just a few moments, so sit back and relax and enjoy our watch with Tim Thompson.
This past year, the radical left with their globalist mindset has burned down our cities, forced businesses to close, and tried to silence our churches. They told us to wear a mask and stay home to save lives, and many Christians remain silent. That is no longer an option. The silent majority will be silent no more, and the sleeping giant has been awakened. We are going to use our voice to take back the media, stop the censorship, and very loudly take back the public square. I'm Tim Thompson, and this is Our Watch.
Well, good evening, everybody. So glad to see you all here tonight. I cannot tell you how awesome it is to see so many unmasked, beautiful faces all at once. Such a great, wonderful thing. And I'm just grateful to be able to spend some time with you guys tonight. I want to say hello to everybody that is tuned in online watching with us. Welcome to Our Watch. Glad you're there. I'm going to get right into it because we've got a lot we want to talk about tonight. And I'm not going to introduce up our guest tonight. What I'm going to do is introduce up Alan Montemagno, if you want to come up, and we're going to let him redeem himself this evening.
You know who I am. My name is Alan Montemagno. I'm usually in charge of announcements. I think I'm going to get fired. If you weren't here on Sunday, I was supposed to introduce Katie as being this Wednesday's...
I don't know if you're on there. Are you on there?
Hello?
Let me see.
My
No.
wife's doing the sound. That's why the microphone doesn't.
Yeah. Let me.
Oh.
There you go.
Check. Okay.
Now he's really fired.
Now, my name is Alan Montemagno. I usually do announcements, but I think I'm going to get fired from announcements. They said, we have one job for you. Just announce Katie Hopkins. Everybody knows who she is. Everybody's going to come out because everybody loves to see Katie Hopkins. So I said, you don't want to miss this Wednesday, Katie Thompson's coming out. And people came up to me and said, that was so funny, Alan. I can't believe that because everybody knows Katie's got a big crush on Tim. And I go, what did I say? And they said, it was so funny you said Katie Thompson. And I go, no, I didn't. They go, yeah, you did. And after about 10 people told me I said that, I guess I actually did say that. And so
You didn't hear what I said when I came up here, though, did you?
No.
I said, hello, everybody. I'm Pastor Tim Hopkins.
Oh, see? It's the same. Hopkins, Tompkins, Biden, it's all the same.
No. No.
It's all the same, right?
Now he really is fired.
No, but our guest speaker tonight that everybody has come out to see, and she's come out before, she's always a hoot, you never know what she's going to say, is Katie Hopkins.
I'm not going to reach over and shake your hand. I'm going to hug you.
Let's do it. Aww.
Love you.
Aww. He's such a good husband to me. When I heard, I was like, yes, that's right. I got there in the end. It's taken a lot of work, but I got there.
It's such a joy to have you out. And I said what a joy it is to see so many beautiful faces, isn't it?
Come on. Isn't it just the best to be filled up with each other, to hear each other, the noise of children laughing? Isn't it the best thing? I just love that about this space. It's just a cacophony of people that just are with their family and get along. It's a very beautiful thing.
It really is. And it's cool we have people here that are actually rooting for you for California governor.
Thank you very much. I see that. I have heard this a while now, that I'm supposed to be standing for governor of California. I'm not even sure that at that point California would even know what had hit it if they got me.
Freedom.
It would be something of a wake-up call. We were just practicing when we were all having a bit of a giggle earlier. We all met together. And I was like, come on, guys, we've got to be a bit sensible now because I've got to get my sensible head on because we're going to church. And all the ladies are like, no, don't worry, everyone will be fine with it. Just be yourself. So watch out.
Oh, it's going to be fun. I want to ask you, I mean, obviously, you have a different accent than the rest of us.
Do I?
So you had to fly a long way to get here. Tell us about your trip.
Yes, so currently I'm not allowed to be here, which is kind of standard. I say that every time I come now, don't I?
We're
It's
not
kind of
allowed to
like,
be in here either.
You're not
so-
allowed to be. Darlings, none of us are allowed to do anything anymore, so here we all jolly well are. I'm banned from being in America because I'm British, and us British people have a very special kind of Ebola, as you know. So Pastor Tim only has, I would say, a couple hours to live at max. And the rest of you, if I spread what I've got to the rest of you, it's over, guys. We may as well just go drinking all afternoon. That's not church. No, that's not what we do in church.
Well, I didn't say it, so
You didn't. No, we're still fine. We're still fine. And then I'm also not only are British people banned from America, but I'm also banned from leaving the UK. It's illegal to leave the country in the UK. It's illegal to go on holiday in the UK. There are signs on billboards. It's illegal to go on holiday. It's illegal to be more than 7 miles from your home address in the UK, and that is policed at $300 a fine every time they catch you. You're only allowed one person in a vehicle inside of 7 miles from your home address. And even actually, and many of you good married people here, hands up if you're married. Oh, you're so darling. Aren't church communities just the best? Some places I go, you just get one sad, angry man at the back of the room. You'll know that lockdown marriage, my darlings, we all know, and don't no one nod because I don't want anyone getting into trouble when you get home. Lockdown marriage has been testing, has it not?
Oh, yeah.
You know, we agreed to get married, my darlings, but we did not agree to live with someone 24/7. I feel the same way about my children. Yeah, I agreed to have children. I don't know what that gesture is, but just go with it. Sorry. We did not agree to live with our children 24/7. So my point I'm getting to is that people on their driveways, just when people have had enough, right, you just got to go and sit in your car for 5 minutes, because otherwise, as my mother said, I'm going to stab your father. People are being arrested in their cars, on their driveways for an unapproved journey outside their home address. So things are pretty dark, and so I am done with that. The time for asking permission is over. The time for waiting for an answer is through, and so I broke my little British arse back into your country via Mexico City. Woohoo!
So people had a lot to say about that online, about you going to Mexico City, and you had a lot to say about what they had to say.
So sometimes people say, well, how? How did you do this? Like I have some sort of mystical element and I just dissolved myself and then reappeared. You know, I had to have many pieces. In fact, may I use you? I had to have a PCR. I'm going to stand.
Wait.
May I stand up?
Yes.
Do you notice me asking permission before I do something I definitely shouldn't do? It's a trick. It's a trick. So I went to have a PCR.
What do you need me to do?
Don't be afraid.
Okay, all right.
Pray to the Lord and don't be afraid. I had to have a PCR test in order to get on the plane, in order to go to Germany, in order to pretend I was going to Germany, because nobody goes to Germany, because Germans don't have personalities. In order to go, Angela Merkel, ginger, I know. In order to go to Mexico City. So I get to the PCR testing place, and it's $150 for my test. And they have to put the swab up my nose. You'll notice my nose is quite prominent. Don't laugh. My father says you could put me in the garden and use me as a sundial when the sun's out. Anyway, I like to think of it as a challenge, right, darlings? It's a challenge for the PCR testers. I'm like, you're going to need a longer swab. Anyway, I go into the PCR test, and she goes, you need to go to cubicle 2. Go to cubicle 2, very serious woman, visor, mask, double mask, hazmat suit. I'm going to hold the back of your head and put it somewhere I shouldn't. She gets my head, she shoves it into her boobs, just hold it there.
I can't.
And she says,
I just can't.
She says, I bloody love you. What a load of old nonsense this is. So even the lady at the PCR testing center knows the nonsense that we're part of. That's the truth of what's going on. Don't be afraid.
So you made it here, you broke into the United States, which is very easy to do right now.
This is the thing. I'm an illegal.
You just got to walk right across the border.
I'm an illegal. And there was a team from California who were going to drive down and get me if I didn't make it on the plane. They were going to come and rescue me, which is super sweet. Thank you to them. And I am kind of cross with you all, though, because I was promised as an illegal I would get health care, hotels, and what have I had? Nothing. I've not had anything from it, not even a single meal, not Medicaid, nothing. I think people are racist against me because I'm white.
So you're here. We're glad you're here.
I am here. You're frightened that I'm here.
I'm just trying to
Get
see
the
what
words
kind
together.
of screen grabs people are going to take off of what happened about 45 seconds ago.
I think Hopkins shoves husband's face down boobs. Something like that. I don't know.
So,
Get it together, Pastor Tim. Get it together. Come on. Come on.
so
Come on, Pastor Tim. You can
I
do
love
this.
that you're here because it has been the last year for everybody. It's been horrible. We think it's horrible here. Obviously, it's even worse in the UK. But this is affecting people all over the world, and there's a lot of people like us that we're feeling very alone as we go through life. You know, I sometimes I walk through the grocery store and I look around like I'm the only one in here that gets it, and you can feel alone. And you spoke about that.
Yeah.
So why don't you share with, because I think your message about that, I think it's going to resonate with everybody.
Yes, and I'm finding that these are so much our times. And by being somebody that's outspoken about how I feel about the nonsense we're surrounded by, about the madness that's going on, by, being out there and being out and about, being present, turning up in America. It's really helpful. And online on Instagram, people are on there and they're like, oh, I didn't realize there were other people that thought like me. And it doesn't mean that we have to agree, because that's not what we're about. I don't think we've ever asked anybody to agree with us. But people just didn't realize that there were so many of us that are at least questioning or know that this is nonsense or feel a bit different to everybody else. And people say, I didn't know we were so many. And so people are diving on in the comment section to speak to each other. And someone's posting, I honestly don't believe rationally that I want to go on with life as it is. We're finding in the UK now, we have the expression, where they were cut down from a wooded area. People are making a rational decision. They don't want to live their life anymore if this is what life is like. Whereas what we found with the communities that we're building, and I know that you have here, is that we're not on our own. We're never on our own. We're so many of us, and at no time like now has there ever been such a great opportunity for us to open doorways for other people who just lack that little moment of being able to take off their mask or say, this is silliness, that I know this is wrong. And what we need to do is act like doorways for those people to welcome them in, right?
Right. Yeah, we were talking about what's going on over the last year. And here's the thing, Katie and I have known each other a lot longer than the last year. And one of the things I've been talking a lot about lately is the fact that people like us are starting to really, truly wake up. I mean, many people like us have been awake a long time, but there are people waking up and coming over to this side. And there truly is sides right now. There's the side of good and the side of evil. And it's that simple. And we are on the side of good. Make no mistake. Right. We're on the side of positivity. We're on the side of light. We're on the side of goodness. That is the side. And the side of freedom. And there's people waking up and seeing this, but many people that are waking up, their focus is so on what's happening right now. And the fact is, the fight's been going on for quite some time.
Yeah, that's right.
And you've been a leader in this.
Oh, and it's a joy, and it's a role that we're fortunate to be on the pointy end of the spear as we move more intensely towards a time that we know had to happen. We know the darkness had to come for us to be able to prevail. And we know we're on the side of the right because we're not on the side of Southwest Airlines, who told me today that I could only remove my mask if I was actively chewing a peanut. I don't know if any of you have actively tried to chew a peanut before, but there is a particular facial gesture.
So what's a passively
Well, if you're only sucking on a nut, that is not acceptable. In row 13, you have to aggressively chew on your cashew. And in that way, you can, for a moment, take your mask off. But the moment you're not doing that, that's passive again, and you must stop immediately. If I may I tell a brief story about an elevator? We would call it a lift, darling, but I'm translating because I'm just that sort of gal. So I'm staying in downtown Denver. Nobody stays in downtown Denver apart from homeless people or left-wingers who are trying to be deliberately ugly. I've worked this out. And they set the bar high. I'm in the hotel, and the mask thing is crazy. There's lines going through the whole, what you call a foyer, reception. Foyer. It's what we call it as well. Great, tomato. So there's lines. And the rule is you're only allowed one person or one family group in an elevator at a time, right? 2 days into this, and I'm like, listen, I'm 46 years old. This face is not getting any younger. Gravity's taking effect. People say that I've been ridden hard and put to bed wet. That's so mean. Anyway, I'm on the 7th floor, and there's a line. Ting, the elevator comes. There's someone in it, so nobody gets in. And I'm like, I am done with this. So I go, would you mind, can I get in? Because frankly, I don't give a damn. And there's a guy in the elevator with tattoos, so I know he's probably one of ours. Tattoos and piercings, people, tattoos and piercings, they're ours. And he goes, yes, you can, because I don't give a damn either. In I get. We stop at the 5th floor. Ting! There's lines. There's a family with a child. And I held the door. I said, would you like to get in? Because none of us give a damn. And they were like, yeah, we don't give a damn either. And in they get. Now there's a line of people looking really cross on the 5th floor because they're liberals and they're following the rules and they want to come in too. And we get in, the door shuts, and I'm like, you know what, guys? We're going to go back up to the 15th floor because you're the very best people I've met in downtown Denver the whole time.
I love it.
And that's the
awesome.
sort of way we can open the doorways, right? Positively.
Right. We have to open the doorways.
Yeah.
We were talking at dinner about the fact that there are some people who just need a nudge. They need somebody to lead, and they want to do something, but they're afraid of confrontation. They're not afraid of truth. They want to live in truth. They want to walk in truth, but they need somebody to take that step. And when one person will take that step, it makes it so much easier for other people to take that step. And again, we're not talking about just the things that are going on right now, because like I said, the fight has been going on for a long time. I've been talking a lot lately about how prior to COVID, things were happening all around us. And I'll let you speak to this because you've talked a lot about this. We're in many ways just catching up to you guys. But here in America, while we were asleep as conservatives, as Christians, laws were being put in place. Things were being changed. It was being put, like I've said oftentimes, our daughters can go get abortions while they're at school without us knowing about it and without us consenting to it. Now they're putting what they call wellness centers on our school campuses where kids can go get transgender therapy without you knowing and without you consenting. This didn't happen during COVID. People are waking up to this now, but this is kind of, it's almost like it's a good thing that this happened because it's waking us up to everything that was going on all around us. And like I said, and like you have said, we're catching up to you. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, it's been kind of transformational because, for the longest time, I've been known as the biggest bitch in Britain, which is kind of odd because I'm actually quite small. And when people meet me, they're like, you're supposed to be 6'2" and covered in hair. And I'm like, I know, I'm quite tiny. But we always go down a darker path faster than you, for certain. And we've been headed down that dark path for a long time. In my country, speech is a policeable event. Telling the truth is a hate crime, and therefore I'm regularly arrested for speaking out truths. And even in this example with COVID, right now in the UK, British school children have to be tested for COVID every morning before they go to school, 5 times a week. Imagine if you've got 5 children, that's a lot of testing. I have 3 children who still speak to me. It's quite something. And 2 of them, of their own volition, opted out of testing. There was a fight, but they're still allowed to go to school. But because they opted out, they have to wear a sticker on their uniform. They have to wear a badge. I mean, how close to history do we want to go?
Right.
Their badge, as their teacher explained to their classmates, was to show that my children aren't clean and they don't respect their classmates. So we head down a dark path, and of course, every time they do that next thing to us, we talk about the sticker. Whereas, to your point, what we need to be talking about is the fight for the light, right? The fight for righteousness and the fight that we're all in that's about preserving. And the thing that brings me so much joy is that our side has never been stronger. Having just come from Colorado Springs, 450, it was your church, it's the church you're going to have. 450 people seated in a church, every one of them with 8 kids, 5 kids, all playing brilliantly. The pastor's wife. I've tried to marry you often. I would marry the pastor's wife in Colorado Springs. She's had 8 children. She's got a weapon strapped to her thigh. She can rodeo. So I'd even give up Melania Trump for the pastor's wife. And what I'm trying to say is the strength of our side is so strong now. It has never been stronger. And that's really exciting for us. You can feel it here. Like you can feel it in this room. It's like there's an electricity in this room right now.
Right.
We're building this thing, and we're going to be strong when this comes.
This is what happens when people that allow the values we find in here, when you allow this to guide what you're doing, and you said the word preserve. And that I've been saying that a long time. God, the Lord called us to be salt and light. Salt is a preservative. That's what it is. It's what it does. Salt stings, and that's the whole idea of what we're doing in our community, in our culture. We're preserving it. And you rub salt on a wound, it stings, but what is it doing? It's getting rid of the germs, the bacteria. It's cleansing. And we're supposed to be that effect. We're supposed to be a cleansing effect. And part of that, and I've said this a lot as well, is we're not going to do that by living in a lie. We have to speak the truth to people. And the fact is, the truth hurts. The truth is offensive. And we've developed a culture that doesn't want to be offended. Oh, don't offend somebody. Why? It's the truth.
Exactly. And we need to be able to take the pain. You know, that's the kind of thing. So some people talk about this whole, my arm thing going on at the minute. And that's about a physical thing for me, about we have to strengthen, right, in order to endure, in order to prevail. So I spent lockdown kind of, some of you will know, I put on 50 pounds in 3 months and lost it again to prove that if you want to take control on your body, you can. This is about we need to strengthen ourselves in order that we endure, in order that we prevail. But it is going to hurt sometimes. We're going to have to take pain. And that can be the pain of losing friends who believe in vaccinations and have alienated you because you don't. That can be losing people you used to talk to who don't talk to you anymore because you don't wear your mask and you're selfish. It's painful when we lose family members and friends, but we have to take that pain in order to prevail. And pain does make us stronger, certainly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the idea of what we're going through right now. It's like going to the gym. You know you're going to hurt. You know it's going to be tough. You know you're going to be exhausted but you're going to be stronger.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at. We're seeing our side of this grow stronger and stronger every day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think anytime, and I want to talk about this, anytime you feel weakness, the great thing about what you belong to, and you may be wondering why I'm sat here. I mean, you may have wondered why I sat there and tried to put Pastor Tim's head into my boobs. You may have wondered that as well. But you may wonder why I'm sat here holding a toothbrush charger. And the great thing is about our side is that any time that you feel weaker or you need something or you need a charge, right? If you throw your line out to one of our family, and our family is massive, it extends in California, through to Colorado Springs, through to wherever. So Peter, where's Peter? My lovely Peter.
Who is no longer known as Peter at church. It's always Peter.
So my Peter, who tried with me earlier today, we're in the vehicle, and he says, yeah, so it's just up here by Murrieta. I was like, what the heck is Murrieta? What happened to your teeth? Anyway, I messaged Peter a week or so ago, and I went, Peter, I need your help with something. It's a bit weird. Will you help me? Now, if you think about knowing me like you guys know me, that request could be anything, right? But along the road with hotels and everything, you lose stuff along the way. I lost my toothbrush charger. I was like, Peter, I need a toothbrush charger. Will you help me? And of course, I arrive here today. Not only has Peter got me this, he's plugged in my toothbrush for me and brought it back to church ready charged. That's Peter. And my point about that is, anytime you feel weak or you need something, if you ask for help with this family, help comes. Mm-hmm. Right. It's a really powerful thing,
right.
As
Absolutely.
is Peter.
We had an incident here at the church. For those of you that don't go to church here, I'll just let you know, for the online audience, we're a very pro-Israel church here. We do believe that the Jewish people, that the land of Israel is theirs not only by God's word, but also by the law. It is lawfully theirs, and they deserve to have that place. So we support the Jewish people, and here in Murrieta, here in Murrieta, we have a number of Jewish members of our community. We value them, we love them, and we make no mistake, we support Israel and the Jewish people. So a few weeks back, somebody had infiltrated, some younger people infiltrated our youth group and started passing out anti-Semitic, I don't even know what you call it, but just pamphlets. But it was vulgar. It was vile. It was completely disgusting. And it was so bad, I won't even repeat it, what was in there. And if you look at the links to the websites it was trying to point our kids to, it was just awful. And so thankfully, and this is just how we roll here, but our youth leader saw him right away starting to pass it out, grabbed it and kicked his butt out of church, which he should. Now, a week ago, what happened was they came back to the church, and we were having a Holocaust Memorial March of Remembrance here that day. We don't host. We were letting them use the church
Facility.
but it's another organization that does this. It's a Holocaust Remembrance Foundation here in Marietta. So they showed up Saturday night and they plastered our building with this stuff. Total anti-Semitism. And I want to ask you about this because you know a lot about this. And this is something that's on the rise worldwide. For those of you Bible students, you should know that that is one of the signs of the end times, is a rise in anti-Semitism. But we're living in a day where everybody is saying that racism, which we all know this, racism is horrible. They're like, racism bad, racism bad. Anti-Semitism, well, that's okay. And I don't understand how people don't understand that anti-Semitism is racism. And so you've actually done a whole documentary about this.
Yeah, Homeland, about how, and the weird thing about it is, if you think about how much we talk about Black Lives Matter or the racism issue, one of the things that goes unspoken, because the media choose to turn a blind eye, is the hunting of Jews out of Europe. So speaking from my perspective, in our countries, in Paris, it's happening now. When I was in Paris documenting the hunting of Jews out of Europe, I was with families who received letters to their homes saying, we know you're Jewish, we're going to kill you, get out. And the police says, you need to leave, there's nothing we can do. The Jews are fleeing Paris and France because the Muslim community is so strong and has such power. They're just going to hunt them out until there's none left. Same in the UK, on the eve of the election where we thought Jeremy Corbyn, hard left, was going to get in, representative of the Muslim mob. My Jewish friends had their bags packed, ready to go. So Jews are fleeing Europe in their millions, but no one will talk about it because, of course, the left want to ally themselves with the growing demographic that is the Muslim community. And, of course, you're seeing that right now in Congress, where anti-Semitism becomes something that just simply isn't spoken about. Right. I think the way that your youth leader acted is exactly the sort of strength we need, is to get those people out, show respect for Israel, and the fact, you know what, Israel stands to say that we're a proud nation and we will protect the Jewish people. Wouldn't it be fantastic if we had leadership in America that said, we're a proud nation and we're going to protect the American people, whoever they are. That's all we want as well.
We had that in a president.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Let me ask you, with your experience, because you've done this documentary. First of all, how can people watch the documentary? If you haven't seen it, you need to go see it.
Oh, bless you. Homelands. It's on YouTube. It was on. I put it up to Amazon Prime to make it more accessible. But unfortunately, in the UK, we have a group of board of deputies. They're the most senior Jewish organization in the UK. The Board of Deputies had it removed from Amazon Prime because it didn't represent the Jewish alliances with our Muslim friends. Same with the last time I was removed from a job. It was senior authorities in the Jewish faith that did that. There is this curious sort of modern Jewish thinking that doesn't really stand up for the strong Jewish people that we need them to. I think, we both know a little bit about that.
Right. Right. So, you did the documentary, and you've gotten pushback. Let's say the least. Talk to me, or talk to the group tonight about what type of pushback you received. They've made a play about you, stuff like that.
Oh, I see. Yes, pushback is good. Yeah, we use polite phrases, don't we? Like cancel culture, right? Like cancel, like I might cancel my gym subscription, or I might cancel my hairdresser's appointment. Some of you friends, many of you will know. For me and others of us, canceling, especially in the time of lockdown when you guys are being arrested or threatened with fines or receiving fines in an inordinate way. Certainly the same true for me in the UK. So for speaking out about the truth, our side, You know, first they came for every job I had. Well, okay, so my newspaper job, my radio job, I'm unemployable, certainly in the UK. I mean, my father used to say that about me a long time before any of this happened, but we'll pass on that. Then they came for my home. So they made up new legislation just for me, a new law that said, let's just say you tonight feel that I have seriously harmed you with my actions and my words, which we could argue I've seriously harmed you this evening. But anyway, let's just say you perceive that I seriously harmed you this evening. In the UK now, that is law. And tomorrow you can sue me for seriously harming you by your perception alone, and I owe you $30,000 to clear that. And in order to clear that new law made just for me in my name, I had to rid myself of my family home. I don't own anything anymore. My children don't own my surname anymore, my last name. My 3 children all have different names to prevent them being attacked by those who wish to silence me. Then a couple of jihadis came to chop my head off for a wedding present. One jihadi. Most people just make do with like Bed Bath and Beyond, or like, you know, a Mike Lindell mattress topper. I don't know. Call me old-fashioned. But the jihadis wanted my head. So they came for my head, and my home was rigged up, and now those 2 jihadis are in prison. But I guess the point is that we call that cancel culture. I think my message, and I think many of us will identify at least with this bit of it, is that they come until you swing from a tree. That's what they're doing now. They're destroying everybody's lives until you decide you've had enough and you're going to swing from a tree. And I say to every single one of you here, every day you don't swing, I'm going to go. It's emotional, right? Every day you don't swing from a tree is the day that you win. And you're stronger than them. You are stronger than them. You stay in this fight. Because you're in this fight with us, and we're not going anywhere anytime soon, right?
Oh, I'm not going anywhere.
We're in here. Yeah, so we need everybody to stay in the fight. And that's my plea to people, particularly in the UK, who don't see a way of carrying on. We need people to stay in the fight, even if you just hunker down to endure, right?
Right. And so what kind of advice would you give somebody who wants to get into the fight?
Yeah, you know, when we get up in the morning, sometimes these days, it can feel like death by 1,000 cuts, right? This lady tells you to put that mask on, to stand on that circle. By the way, those circles do unstick. I'm just saying, I don't know how I know that, but I do know that. I've got loads of them, I tell you. Think of it as waxing the floor, ladies. Anyway, don't do that. Actively chew your peanut. Make sure you wait there. Don't go near me. Stand away from me. A death by 1,000 cuts, right? Maybe tomorrow you decide, I'm not going to be death by 1,000 cuts. I'm going to be the one doorway to someone else. And that can be as simple as just pulling down your mask and just smiling at someone and saying, thanks so much. Hope you have a really good day. You watch people. You give them one. I walked down the plane aisle today, pulled my mask down, just smiling at people. You can see the little eyes, the ones that glint back at you and go, I know you and I'm with you. Tomorrow, be that person. Be the one doorway to one other soul, because you could be the person that stops them swinging from a tree tomorrow. And that's something we can all do immediately.
Yeah, and we have to do it.
We have to.
Yeah.
It's urgent now.
Yeah. I want to tell a story that we're actually going to film this story and share it, but I just want to share a little bit right now. So there's somebody here tonight that came to me because I gave my congregation, an encouragement to go show love to people, and essentially, I'm not going to give all of the story right now, but essentially, a woman had her husband pass, and the man that goes to church here, he could tell something was wrong. He ended up giving her a hug. I'm not going to tell all the story. Gave her a hug, and she said, "It's the first time somebody's touched me in what, six months, something like that, 6 months. It's the first time somebody's touched her in 6 months." And when I heard that, and we're going to have him tell the full story, but I just wanted to bring that out right now because you were almost brought to tears hearing that. And to me, we're living in a time where what we're being told is to not be who we've been designed to be as human beings. We're designed to have human interaction. We're designed to reach out and touch one another and hug and smile and be there for one another. And all of these rules are being told to we're told not to be humans.
It's to isolate each other, right?
It's to isolate one another.
Yeah.
Go all the way back to the Garden of Eden. This is from the very beginning. If I can separate you out, I can do something with you. That's what Satan wants, So we need to no. There's a plan against humanity, and that's what I think we really need to have our eyes open to. Is we're not going to let anybody stop us from reaching out and hug. That's why when you came up, I said I'm going to hug you. We're going to hug. In fact, hugging's so important.
I'm feeling a hug coming on. This is good news. This is a Pastor Tim Thompson
I just
hug.
think we should take a break right now.
I
think
in.
everybody
I was
should
in
hug
way before
somebody
you
right
said.
now.
Does that mean I get another Pastor Tim hug? It does. Ah.
Everybody's got a hug. There we go.
This is a hugging church.
Yes.
The huggies.
See that? Isn't that awesome?
Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute, these two.
Isn't this awesome?
These two here. I love that the couple are just like, yeah, we'll just use this as a smooch time.
Yeah.
Yes, this has turned into a bit of a moment.
This is a super spreader. That's what this is.
We need to do this in a football-sized stadium.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Right.
What a fun thing. Who knew church was this fun? I just never knew church would be so fun. Church is not like this in the UK, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you. I particularly like the couple over here. Look how cutesy they are with the red top and the stripy top. They were just like, we'll just have another cuddle. This will be lovely. But it's so true. And I go to events now and, people come in and they're wary because they're trying to work out, are you an elbow? Are you a, and I'm just like, woof. And the thing about that is, A, it's terrifying for a lot of people, but B, there's a lot of emotion that comes out. A lot of times people are crying just because they're just remembering how nice it feels to be held by someone else and not feel like they're dirty or unclean or be told that they should be on their own.
Right.
There is an emotional reservoir sitting deep in people's chests, and we need to help people let that out, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the whole, COVID, elbow bump and all that stuff, I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. I just won't do it. And it's been a beautiful thing over the last year. The church has been open, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen people walk in and just start crying. Just because they're looking around, and there's no other place where you can just show up and nobody's got a mask on, and everybody's hugging each other, and it feels so normal.
It's like Prohibition, right? It's Prohibition 2.0, except we never got drunk. Well, I mean, but I went to, quickly, I went to a place I was speaking in downtown Denver the other day. I could tell you where it is, I'll tell you, but not here because they'll tell me off. And the gentleman who runs it, they nearly lost their business due to lockdown. The wife was crying because she was recalling how close it came. They got to the stage they decided they couldn't go on. Somehow they made it through. They got a grant on the day that they, by divine intervention, I swear. Not only have they said they will never serve another Democrat in that place for as long as they live, which is just great. Exactly. I need to get you in touch with these guys. Then the owner took me to the back room, and I thought, hello. And there was a bit of wall that he moved, door, and inside that door is a special bar that he built just for people he invited by hand. He went round the neighborhood. Anybody who had a Trump sign in their garden got the postcards, and they now drink at that speakeasy. So Prohibition is back. It's back for our side. What a great thing. What a joy.
Isn't it funny that you have to have a speakeasy for
but
somebody to actually go somewhere without a mask on?
Behind a wall.
I found the places that will let me in without a mask. And that's where I eat. I won't eat somewhere that if they're, I just don't wear a mask.
No.
But yeah, I found the places.
Yeah.
And I know many of them, they've put extra tint on their windows. They don't want people to see inside. It is almost like a speakeasy type of thing.
But it also means we can find our own, this whole thing. Who's got tattoos in here? Hello?
Yeah.
Who's got piercings? Yeah. I can get the metal detector out. I'm going to find out who's lying to me. I see you. I swear, piercings and tattoos, the freedom of personal body is a great way of identifying your kind of people. And what I like, they may try and mark my kids up with stickers to say we're unclean. You know what? I hope we are a bit unclean, frankly, because a bit of dirt never hurt anyone, right? But we have our own markings now. I'm not saying everyone has to go out and get a tattoo, but if you just open your eyes to it, it's such a great way of bringing people to our side. It's exciting.
Oh, yeah.
It's so exciting.
I've said this for a while now. I grew up in the 80s here in SoCal, and UK had this as well. You had the whole punk rock scene, you know, and when I was a kid, punk rock, that was like the people that were anti-establishment.
Yes.
They were again, like, you can't tell us what to do, you know, you can't, you know, you can't hold us back. We're going to do whatever we want. And now to be a conservative is punk rock.
Yes, we are the new punk rock.
We are the new punk rock.
The new prohibition.
You can't tell me I can't go to church. I'm going to church anyways. So we're like the anti-establishment, you know. And
it's so true. And we have many in our number. We have hairdressers who've been hairdressing this whole while, right? I got out of Mexico City. You should have seen my hair about two months ago. It was pretty bad. She was doing my hair, this lovely hairdressers in this sort of prohibition hairdresser space because no one's allowed to. It's partly about not being able to feel better, isn't it, ladies? I don't know why I'm looking at the guy who's got a shaved head as I talk about my hairdresser story. Sorry about that. But it's like they don't want us to feel better, right? We feel a bit better when our hair looks a bit better. You wouldn't really understand,
I don't even know what you're
darling.
talking about.
Don't even, just keep out of this one. Pastor Tim, you have no business in this conversation. So she's doing my hair, and truly it's a wreck. And she goes, oh, so, did you always have yellow hair? And I'm like, yellow? No. She goes, yeah, I was just thinking, you look a bit like a yellow lot lizard. Do you know what a lot lizard is? Do you know?
No.
Well, let me just put it this way. It's a lady that goes to truck drivers in their trucks at night to help facilitate their journey.
So
Leave it there. Don't ask any other questions.
But so she said this. She's the one doing your hair.
Yeah, but she just said I looked a bit like a lot lizard. All I'm saying is, well, I guess the long and the short of that story was that I got my hair done.
I hope you didn't tip her.
No, she was done. And then actually I went to an event the following week and I told the story, and this truckie came up with the stickers that they put on their windows to say no lot lizards. So I have them in my bag.
Never even heard of that.
Yeah, it's upstairs.
You learn something new.
There you go.
You know?
Well, I'm glad your wife will be
I'm glad
pleased.
you all came to church tonight. You got to learn some stuff.
It's been a learning. We've hugged, we've done lot lizards, we're good. It's all good. It's all out there. It's all out there. We don't leave anything behind at our watch now.
Right.
Right.
I want to just bring up briefly guns, because you like guns. But you guys can't have guns.
No.
And we're headed there in America.
We really are.
Yeah.
I love, who said that?
That sounded like Larry.
How excited.
Was it Larry?
No, we're not.
Was it you? It sounded like you.
What I love so many, well, I mean, I love everything about America, obviously, but we could get that spreaded around here pretty quick, can we? No, we're not. Is that, Americans are so darling. Within 5 years in the UK, and I will put this out as a prediction that I believe, people call us conspiracy theorists, right? I'm going to sound like Alex Jones on acid, but just go with. You don't know what acid is, and you shouldn't. 5 years from now, there will not be private vehicles in the UK. They are coming for our cars. The reason we're being told right now we're not allowed more than 7 miles from our home is so that when we're only allowed on state transport, we will only be allowed within a restricted zone on our state transport. That's coming down the line. And you can feel the tentacles from the UK, where they've dug up our roads under lockdown, replaced them with cycle lanes. Let's look to America. There used to be 3 lanes, now there's 2. Now there's planters, right? Each time making it a bit more tricky. They've taken away our diesel cars, our petrol cars already. We're only going to be electric. And guess who controls electric cars ultimately? It's not the owner of that vehicle. And I say this as a way of looking at the continuum of the thing. Because if you think you're going to take a Ford pickup truck off an American or a Chevy off a pastor.
Chevy.
That
Chevrolet
is not going to happen.
Away.
Yeah. That is not going to happen here in America, no. You can't buy, as you know too well, a weapon in America right now, nor ammunition, because there has never been a greater cache of weapons across this country than at any time in modern history.
Right.
And I went to a meeting the other day. There he is. I went to a breakfast meeting. and his friends were kind of, not, I won't say showing off, but, they were amusing me. They were like, oh, how many weapons have you got, Brian? And Brian was like, oh, and I forgot the taser. And they go down the line, how many of you got, Steve? And Steve's like, well, I've got the 12, then the 2 that I would hand in, and then the 4 that aren't documented, the ones without the barcode. They get down to the end of the line, they go, oh, what about you? What about you, Nick? How many have you got? And Nick goes, what, you mean apart from the cannons? Cannons, okay. I did a raffle, what's a raffle here?
A raffle?
I love that every time.
Raffle?
A raffle where you get tickets and you win something.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, raffle.
We speak the same language. It's marvelous. It's like I'm asking you what Spanish is, right? I did a raffle in a massive casino in the middle of the desert. And when we do a raffle in the UK, you're either going to win a nasty bowl of fruit that's gone off or some nasty little poxy bottle of wine that's not very nice. I handed out a semi-automatic weapon. You will never take weapons off Americans because of your Second Amendment. You have your first. And my little vehicle, as you know, has a car sticker that says, guns don't kill people, but I'm willing to.
Yeah,
it's very uplifting here.
I'm very, very pro-gun, and the thing is, we even have a sign on the front of our door that says that you're allowed to come in with your concealed carry. A lot of places have that, like, no guns, like, how stupid.
Yeah.
It really is stupid. This is why you see these mass shootings are at places called soft targets. These are places that don't have guns. You come in here like tonight, I guarantee you, we've got a lot of weapons in here.
I know. It's so reassuring. It's so reassuring. It's like a sort of, I know it's ladies carrying them as well,
Oh, yeah.
so it's not just testosterone, but it's like a testosterone soup. Peter said to me, any troubles tonight, Katie, just take off your shoes. Because he'll have me out of there with the boys here. Yeah. I went to rodeo the other day, my first rodeo. That is very restorative. Like, if you are having doubts about if there's any testosterone left in America, I strongly advise you just to go to the rodeo.
Go to rodeo.
It's great.
Yeah. No, this is...
no bigger point.
Let's talk. We only have a little bit of time left, and I love what you just said. If you have any doubt that there's some testosterone left, so what you're saying is there's some hope.
I'm saying there's always hope, and I'm uplifted by it every day.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It's exciting to be in this room. And if I could, I wish there was a way of showing the electricity in this room. I wish there was a monitor, because if you could listen to the noise of this, it's exciting. Our electricity, those big pylons. I'm not going to ask you what you call pylons, although what do you call your electric grid? Pylons? What do you call those big things that transmit electricity? Power lines?
Towers?
Towers. Oh, you see, we do speak a different language after all. That's us joining up this electricity that we have. And when the fight really comes, our side's really going to bring it. And part of me is looking forward to it too.
Well, I think we're in it. We're in it. I mean, the fight, there's no more, we were saying this as well, no more sidelines. We can't sit on the sidelines. Everybody needs to be engaged. Everybody needs to know what's going on all around us. And to have our heads in the sand is not acceptable anymore.
No, and also that, sometimes we have this thing where people, when things happen to, say, me, oh, we don't want to be like Katie, she's been crucified. I'll save myself for one more day. People's inclination is to preserve what they have for one more day. And I think what's rapidly becoming very clear is it is pointless trying to preserve yourself for just one day, because otherwise we're all going down together. Now is the time to stand together, because when we stand together, like those restaurants that have stood up together, or the churches that have stood up together, that's when we become powerful now.
Yeah.
When we stand together.
Yeah. Speaking of the churches that have stood together, I don't have full announcement yet what the exact win was, but I've talked a lot about my friend Pastor Mike McClure up at Calvary Chapel, San Jose. Over $3 million in fines at this point, but they have a win. And I just want to I know that sometimes he tunes in. Pastor Mike, we love you. We're glad you've got a win. We're going to tell everybody what that is and what that looks like. But we're happy for you, and you keep standing in this fight, because we are with it. We are with you in this. So $3 million.
Is he my next pastor husband? Is he on my pastor husband
yeah.
list? Like
I
in
don't-
terms of you versus pastor? No.
I'm not going to speak for him. You're going to have to go talk to him. I'll just read a statement here, though. Bob Tyler, Advocates for Faith and Freedom, a religious liberties attorney. Many of you know him. He says that the state courts of California need to respect the rule of law from SCOTUS, and the decision from the court is indicative of the future success we expect against the County of Santa Clara on behalf of our client, Calvary Chapel, San Jose. We believe our client will be vindicated and free from the oppressive fines levied by the county. That's good stuff.
Good job.
Well, we are out of time,
Boo.
and we're so. I think we all needed this, Katie. I'm so glad you're here tonight.
Aw,
Just so much
I like
fun.
being here.
Yeah.
This is home.
Do you have time to hang out and say hello to some people?
There is always time.
All right. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to close out our time here online, and I just want to thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in online, and of course, thank you to everybody who showed up tonight. I do want to just remind you, Billy Crone will be here next week. If you haven't listened to Billy Crone, you're going to want to be here. We're going to be talking about the mRNAs. I'm not going to say the mRNA vaccination because it's not a vaccination, okay? We're going to talk more about, I'm going to be giving a message about that, all 4 services this Sunday, but following up, next Wednesday with Billy Crone is going to be huge information. You're not going to want to miss that. You can check him out online, Billy Crone. He's a pastor out of Nevada, but he's got a lot of insight. He actually is a former Satanist, actually, and he gave his life to the Lord, and he talks about the wickedness that's going on, and truly how we are on the side of light and of goodness, and he's going to talk about how wicked some of the stuff is that's going on. Again, not going to want to miss it. So, Katie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And God bless you guys. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Thank you.
Peter's got you.
I saw